where we have been in the hope that we might see what we might lie ahead. Let us turn back to our beginnings 49 years ago. Our first students numbered 52, a mixture of Afro-Americans, a scattering of Hispanics, and a handful of others. They came from 3 Detroit middle schools chosen by the superintendent as having the greatest need. They were of middle range academically and destined to walk on new grounds of an experimental project. I have thought since that both students and staff were determined to succeed, whatever that meant. Let us not forget, we had our critics. And looking back, our first 3 years could have been labeled the frontier days. I'm sure you know what that means. A few words are in order for the faculty. All save 2 were school regulars, young and enthusiastic, but with no experience in working with the urban student. It is appropriate to mention the then called prefects. Cranbrook seniors, chosen from 3 times the best and the brightest, who lived in the dorms, a kind of big brother relationship. There were no young women until year 12, when our present director, Dr. Taylor remained unenthusiastic. Once a Marine, always a Marine. After we had settled in, the Detroit Lions arrived to share the premises. There were some adjustments to be made. The big fellows took over the great hall upstairs, while we had the lower dining room. We tried to go our separate ways, at least until the season began. Finally, the final day of year 1 arrived. That would be sometime before today. The finale was in the form of an elaborate dinner. There were speakers, the names of winners were exposed, as well as the usual hugs until next summer. Unfortunately, we had not built a follow-through in our original proposal. Upward Bound was to require a winter phase. Now to come to a close, we have a theme day where we learn to go as we say it again. When we learn as we go. Credit goes to Bill Washington, our second director, who brought that to life. Learning is more than eating after all. A conclusion. I turned to my journal at the beginning of year 4. Its predecessor was a rough one. Racial differences were on the march, and during the preceding summer phase, Cranbrook was under martial law, and our primary source of money from the Ford Foundation ran out. These were my words all those years ago. One way or another, we will carry on, and so we did. The future, under Dr. Taylor, could not be in better hands. Thank you very much.
Mr. Snyder, thank you so much for those warm remarks. You know, one thing Mr. Snyder asked me, he asked me if he should come back for our 50th. What do you think?
And now, my confident and fellow classmate from Detroit Persian High School, Josiah Jones, will give